this week's Wellness Webcast. My name is Mo Wolf. I am your guide as we discuss the things of wellness and good, clean living. They're laughing at me already. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming and being a part of this with me. I am CEO of Little Honeys LLC. I'm also a lifelong student of wellness and traditional Chinese medicine. So I tend to bring a unique perspective to the whole concept of health and wellness. And today, if I look a little peaked, there's a reason for it. And if my voice sounds a little off, there's a reason for it. This week, I think it was on Tuesday, I started in with a little bit of that, burning right about here. And by Wednesday, I was in rough shape. In Chinese medicine, the diagnosis was wind heat invasion, and now it's gone to a little bit of a dryness in the lungs, a little bit of dryness in the lungs, and a little bit of a damp heat invasion in the yang ming channel. Now, for those of you that are out in the Western medicine, and you're saying, what is he talking about? Is he speaking Greek? No, I'm speaking Chinese. So deal with it. For those of you who are from more of a Western background, let me explain it to you this way. The heat invasion, wind heat invasion in the lungs, wind heat invasion in the yang ming channel, this basically translates to gangrene of the lungs and sinuses. It's not fun. At any rate, I went to take some of my Chinese herbs, and I was out of them. Can you believe it? Went to take some of my herbs that I keep around to try to treat this and get it knocked out before it took root, and I was out of my herbs. Can't believe it. Drove me nuts. And so went to call a friend of mine yesterday down in Chicago and say, hey, Doc, can I come down and buy some herbs? And he said, absolutely. And by the time I was able to leave the office, I was just feeling like the udders on a snake and could not drive. There was no way I should have been driving. So, did some self-care, a little bit of acupuncture on my elbows and hands, some sinus points, and made sure that I was hydrating, and I am feeling much better, probably about 50% better, which tells you how bad I looked yesterday. But anyway, enough about that. If you are getting sick with this creeping crud that is going around, and it is going around, it's all over the place. There were people in clinic Monday that had it. There were people that had it last Thursday when I was down south in Chicagoland working with my friend and my mentor, swinging Dr. David Chow. This creeping crud is going around, and it's a nasty one. So my advice to you, if you start getting those symptoms, is see your acupuncturist, see if they've got any herbs for you, so that way you can get it knocked out before it takes root. Switching some gears, this is not an automatic transmission. We drive manual here at Little Honeys LLC, where we make your baby rescue Propolis care and your bee energized raw bee pollen products. If you're confused, it's okay. It's okay. So is Norman. He's kind of looking at me like I'm gone off my rocker, and I probably have. Nope, still on my rocker. This week, we were going to talk about obesity, but I'm going to put that off for yet another week. Why put off for tomorrow what you can do the next day, right? Back in February 6th, 2013, at 8:02 a.m., the Cleveland Clinic posted this article. It's called "Want a Healthy Heart? Then Laugh More. Research shows that laughter is good for your blood vessels." Well, hot diggity dog. As you know, we try to talk about wellness and beautiful living here on our weekly webcast, and we look for alternative means towards wellness and health, as opposed to just seeing what prescription we can get. So I found this article very, very interesting. In recent years, studies are finding a strong link between our emotions and cardiovascular health. Research shows that hostility, anger, depression, anxiety, and social isolation all lead to higher rates of heart disease. You think? Well, let's analyze this for a second. Hostility, anger, depression, anxiety, social isolation all lead to higher rates of heart disease. Well, in Chinese medicine, the hostility, the anger, to some extent the anxiety, all point to what we call liver yang rising, which would be from liver stagnation, qi stagnation, liver yin deficiency, liver blood deficiency, creating an internal wind with heat, and that carries up into the upper reaches of the body and raises blood pressure and gets you angry, and that big toe starts going raising up, and you're ready to fight. Well, that also happens from increased stress, chronic stress in the body, the increase of cortisol levels. You've heard me talk about that before. The hostility, the anger, to a certain extent the anxiety can all be traced back to that excess liver yang rising, which, and here's what's interesting about Chinese medicine, you've got the symptoms associated with a pattern of disease, but that pattern of disease is not necessarily what causes that disease. The root cause of that disease could be the qi stagnation, the yin deficiency, the blood deficiency, and so all of these things need to be addressed. Both the liver yang rising, resulting in this symptomology that the patient complains of, but also the root cause in the beginning. Because why would you want to put out the fire, but just have it blow right back up on you? And then you're talking, what was it, Lake Erie back in the 70s. So, research shows that hostility, anger, depression, anxiety, and social isolation all lead to higher rates of heart disease. Now, within our culture, you say hostility, anger, and you pretty much have everybody that's driving on the highways right now. You talk about depression, anxiety, social isolation. You're looking at a huge segment of the adolescent part of the culture. A huge section of the geriatric section of our culture. You're looking at very large portions of our culture that are represented here in just this one sentence. It was in 2005, let's keep reading, that a link between laughter and healthy function of blood vessels was first discovered by researchers at the University of Maryland Medical Center. They found, this is cool, that laughter increases the blood flow by causing the inner linings of the blood vessels, the endothelium, to dilate. The researchers said the exchange in the endothelium caused by laughter appears to be similar to the benefits of aerobic exercise or the use of cholesterol-lowering drugs like statins. The difference is that laughter is spontaneous and has immediate effects. There's another difference. There's another difference between laughter and statin drugs. Statin drugs have been shown to cause an increase in the risk of diabetes in women. One study shows it's as high as 50% increased risk for diabetes by a lady going on statin drugs. Well, laughter doesn't have that side effect. Laughter, about all you got to worry about are some wrinkles along the sides of your face, and that can be, that can be managed with some of our Be-Rescued eye cream. I don't have it in my desk right now. I should probably care about those wrinkle lines. So, the difference between the drugs, the difference even between the laughter and aerobic exercise is you're causing these effects immediately. You're releasing endorphins. You're releasing all kinds of different chemicals within the body just by laughing that have these great physiological effects on a cellular level within your body. Some interesting facts about laughter as found in this article. The one that I thought was really amazing. Children laugh a lot more than adults. An average baby laughs around 300 times a day. An average adult laughs 20 times a day. How many times a day do you laugh? Do you laugh a couple times a day like that? Do you get yourself a good belly laugh? The idea is take a moment and learn from the little kids that are able to see humor and find joy in the little things. They're not needing some situational sitcom comedy to make them laugh. They can laugh just because, oh, look, that dog chewing on his bone, and he's kind of funny looking when he does it. They can laugh just from interaction with a sibling. Kids are amazing to watch because they can laugh at just about anything. They can find joy in just about anything. And again, babies laugh around 300 times a day. Babies have the ability to laugh before they have the ability to speak. Children who are born blind and deaf have the ability to laugh. This is something that is intrinsic to who we are as human beings. Now, we know that stress can cause vascular constriction, which can help lead to arteriosclerosis. We know that chronic stress, leads to an increase in the cortisol levels within the blood, which causes the inflammation in the body, causes the constriction of the vessels and the venules and the capillaries and the arteries. We know this takes place. So when you have something like laughter, tea, I recommend it. When you have something like laughter, well, it's either that or I have dead air, and you don't want dead air. They're laughing at me again. Hey, I'm helping their physiological function, giving them better health by something to laugh at. How about that? Just don't point and laugh. It's hard on my self-esteem. So you've got these cortisol levels that are increased within the body. I'll focus now. Causing constriction of the blood vessels, causing bad things happening on a cellular level, causing inflammation in the body on a cellular level. Well, laughter causes the release of beta endorphins in the hypothalamus. Know that it is not a sandwich, that's a part of your brain. Now, when the hypothalamus releases, sounds like something that could be on a Denny's menu. When the hypothalamus releases the beta endorphins, it causes the body to release nitric oxide into the blood. Now, that nitric oxide helps to dilate those vessels and those arterioles, and nitric oxide not only helps to dilate those blood vessels, which then increases blood flow and circulation, but it also helps to protect the heart by reducing inflammation and preventing the formation of cholesterol and plaque within those venules. So laughter is releasing this beta endorphin, which releases the nitric oxide, which increases circulation, which also helps to reduce inflammation within the heart. What a beautiful gift we've been given. And it's called humor. And we can laugh, we can enjoy life, or we can get upset. We've got a choice. Wellness is a choice, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Laughter has also been shown to have beneficial effects on other aspects of our biochemistry. For example, it leads to a reduction in stress hormones, including cortisol and epinephrine. So in other words, we're not just combating the effects of cortisol and epinephrine, we are actually causing the body to reduce the levels of these stress hormones just by laughing. What a wonderful thing. Now, not only are you giving yourself this nitric oxide in the body, not only are you reducing the cortisol and the stress hormones, but benefit number 3, according to the Cleveland Clinic right here, benefit number 3 is laughter boosts the number of antibody-producing cells, which leads to a stronger immune system. Which means that if you're somebody that gets sick a lot, then maybe you should be looking for ways to be laughing. Maybe you should be looking for ways to get more of an emotional health to help increase your immune system, to help lower that cortisol within the body. Cortisol helps to attack the immune system and weaken the immune system a little bit. If you get rid of the cortisol, your immune system's stronger. You have a boosted number of antibodies within your bloodstream, which means you're not going to get sick as much. So, what a beautiful thing. Now, I know it's hard to find things to laugh at in this day and age. I mean, you turn on the news, and it is just nothing but bad. However, we can either A, internalize it, B, read it for what it's worth, try to distance ourselves intellectually and emotionally, read it intellectually and distance ourselves emotionally, or C, if you're unable to do that, avoid it altogether. That's going to be hard for some of you, because some of you are news junkies. Some of you enjoy getting angry. Some people do. That's part of the pattern of your body. Maybe you've got chronic liver qi stagnation. Well, those kind of folks tend to like to get a little bit upset. That seems to be their hobby. That's not necessarily... I'm not speaking judgmentally, I'm speaking pathologically. That's just something that happens as part of the human being. The idea is to start making that change right up here. If you can make that change right up here into your brain, make that choice. We mentioned it. Wellness is a choice. If you can make a choice, the old shrinks that used to be on the radio, Paul Minirth Meyer Clinic, used to have a radio broadcast. They used to say, happiness is a choice. Well, that's right. And wellness is a choice. We make these choices how we're going to respond to external stimuli, and we make this choice whether we're going to get all fired up and ready to fight, or whether we're going to just take it for what it is and say, you know what, there's not a thing I can do to change this. It's sad. It might even be, well, it might even be asinine. However, I'm not going to let it ruin my life. You might have things going on interpersonally that are very difficult right now. But you've got that choice to make. You can either A, put up the wall to keep it from affecting you on a cellular level, and that's hard to do, but again, it's a choice. Wellness is a choice. In medicine, in therapeutics, they have this phrase called "fake it till you make it." In other words, you're not feeling well, fake it. Your body will follow. You got some emotional issues. You're feeling depressed all the time. Well, there is, to a certain degree, the ability of the body to fake it, to fake feeling good until your body starts producing that right level of chemicals to actually feel good. There is some truth to that. That said, if we're going to make that decision for wellness, then we've got to learn contentedness. I know I'm getting philosophical, and I know some of you are probably going to get upset with me, but too bad. Because when you're practicing holistic medicine, you're not just practicing on part of the human person, you're practicing on the entire person. You're working to treat the whole body, the whole emotion, everything. 1 Timothy 6:6 out of the New Testament says, "But godliness with contentment is great gain." So if you are constantly looking over the fence at what someone else has and saying, "Oh, I wish I had that. If I could just make it to this next level, oh, I'll be happier. If I could just get this done, if I could just feel a little bit better, I would be a happy person." Well, guess what? If you do make those progressions, you're never going to be happy, because there'll always be the next level. Life is about stair-stepping. There'll always be that next stair-step to get to. I'm sorry, but you know what? That's not gonna do you much good. If you can learn contentedness with where you're at right now, emotionally, physically, financially, however, and say, this is where I am for such a time as this. I might be sicker than a dog, but what can I do? Well, I can lay here in my bed, I can blow my nose, and I can pray. I can't leave the house because I'm just too depressed. Can't interact with people because I'm too scared. But I can be at home, and I can be praying for people. I can be knitting hats for little babies at the hospital. I can be doing all kinds of things. And when you start doing things for other people, you're taking the focus off of yourself and you're putting it on someone else, and you start striving to impact that person before you impact yourself. And that whole concept of faking it till you make it, your emotions will follow, and you'll actually start feeling a whole lot better. Now, I'm not a shrink. I'm not a doctor. I'm just some guy that raises honeybees, makes a product, and practices Chinese medicine. But I think you'll find that if you think into what I've said here, I think you'll find that there's a lot of truth there. So thank you, Cleveland Clinic, for this article on laughter and heart health. And for everybody watching this, let's try to make a point to look for things that we can laugh at. I mean, I woke up this morning and I looked at myself in the mirror and I pointed and I laughed. And I think I offended myself because I haven't spoken to myself all morning. I might have to go back at lunch and make amends. So, I always run out of time. I wanted to read to you a posting on the Be Rescued Propolis Care Facebook page. Now, this is not intended to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any disease. I gotta say that. But I wanted you to know what one of the folks who has used our rescue balm had to say about the Propolis rescue balm. This guy right here. Wanted you to know what folks are saying about it. We have a lady who injured herself rather intensely in her kitchen. And I just want to read to you. Just wanted to say thank you so much for your Propolis rescue balm. This guy. I burned half my face very badly yesterday and ended up in the emergency room. Within a minute of burning myself, I applied your balm and continued to apply it all evening and throughout the night. I even dabbed it on my eyelids and tiny bits into the corners of my eye, since that was where it had been hit the worst. I woke up this morning and have no blisters and no redness. Other than some tenderness, you would never have known I burned myself at all. So thank you again for this great product, and I hope everyone who reads this buys some for their first aid kit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We contacted the individual back to ask how they were doing just a few days later. You know, that this dear lady posted this comment on Tuesday, which meant that the injury happened on Monday. This is Friday morning. We said, hope you're all healed up and doing better. And she wrote back. Other than a slight red mark under the corner of my eye, I'm totally healed. The swelling and tenderness has gone away, and I had no skin issues like flaking or blisters, which meant that the balm actually did its job. I still can't believe it worked this well. I was so scared I was going to end up with terrible scarring on half my face. Thank you again so very much. So I will be contacting this individual because I want to make sure that this individual gets their hands on our Propolis Rescue Balm. Excuse me, this wind heat invasion's getting me. We want to make sure that you get your hands on our Propolis care package. So, we'll be contacting you to make sure that we can get that for you. We are up on Twitter, and I would ask that y'all would take a look at us there. If you are on Twitter, make sure that you follow us. Look us up on Twitter. You can look us up at I think our Twitter account is Little Honeys, LittleHoneyZZZ. Now, did you know why our company is called Little Honeys? Little Honeys is, well, it's a euphemism for our family. It's a metaphor for our family. The little honeys being the children in the house. Excuse me. And the Z's at the end of our company name are one Z for every continent that our children are from. I've got little sisters from Asia, Africa, and North America. So the company name was designed to reflect our family because our company was built so that my little sisters would be cared for and taken care of. So there's a little bit of trivia for you. With that, I think that pretty much covers everything that we wanted to cover today. And yeah, there's okay. They are hitting me with the music. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for putting up with my addled nature today. Next week I shall be feeling a whole lot better, and be a bit more coherent for you. So on behalf of all of us here at Bee Rescue Propolis Care, Bee Energized Raw Bee Pollen Products, I want to say thank you for joining us, and be well.